Joining us now, Senator Ron Johnson from Senate Finance. Senator, it's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you coming on.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Okay, this news is coming in out of the House impeachment inquiry into the president. It's again undercutting the White House defense. You know, the White House defense is there's no smoking gun. There's no link in the impeachment inquiry of President Biden profiting and making money from Biden family deals in their cash flow for influence peddling schemes. The Biden White House is saying, oh, these are just loan repayments between the family. But this bankruptcy trustee for a health company, AmeriCorps, went bankrupt. James Biden worked with AmeriCorps. James Biden got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by the now bankrupt AmeriCorps. He had promised his famous last name would open doors and get funding for them from the Mideast. That didn't happen. But James Biden got money out of AmeriCorps, and on the same day he got money out of AmeriCorps, he turned around and gave Joe Biden $200,000. Again, the same day James Biden got paid by them. What's going on here?
Well, the evidence is mounting, and it's irrefutable. The fact is, Politico wrote an article in August 2019 that they titled Biden Inc. The mainstream media was well aware of how President Biden and Vice President Biden back then had used his office to profit and allow his family members to trade and influence peddle his family name. So this has been obvious. Senator Grassley and I, in 2020, we issued our report showing that tens of millions of dollars flowing from countries that are adversary to America into Hunter Biden's labyrinth of companies set up, obviously, for money laundering. And now James Comer and Jordan Smith are, these chairmen are putting together all the other pieces of the puzzle. And the evidence is just rolling in. For example, 9 members of the Biden family received reimbursement or got paid by some of these cash flows. 9. What did they do? I mean, what did Hunter do? This is obvious corruption. It's been obvious to I think Americans, to journalists for years, and yet the mainstream media has been covering up for the Bidens ever since he became their nominee and then their president.
You know, the House Oversight recently said Joe Biden is refusing to provide any documentation to back up the White House contention that he didn't profit, that these are just loans between the family. So are you hearing that the House impeachment managers, they're going to subpoena the president's bank records? Are they going to subpoena more bank records for the 20 or so shell companies the Biden family set up to take in at least $24 million from overseas deals, including with adversaries like China?
I sure hope they do. I mean, that is going to be where the evidence lies. That's quite honestly what the FBI should have pursued. We have the IRS whistleblowers say that any time there'd be any kind of nexus to the president, their investigation was shut down. So that's what needs to be shown. Is Senator Grassley and I, we showed the inflows. Now you need to have all the detailed bank records. Remember that one FBI form where he had another whistleblower talking about how he paid Biden and Hunter $5 million apiece, said it would take years to unravel the complexity of those payments. So again, these investigations aren't easy, and they're made much more difficult when witnesses don't cooperate. Remember, President Trump's children, they complied with the subpoena. They sat for a transcribed interview under oath with the House January 6th committee members. Why won't Hunter? When people don't provide evidence, when they're not willing to sit down to be interviewed, it just indicates that they are probably guilty. And I think we know that the Biden family is guilty of corruption and influence peddling.
Senator, when you see, you pointed out it's a labyrinth, when you see the different pieces of the puzzle come together, you had an IRS whistleblower testify that the Biden family charged $10 million a year for, quote, introductions, I guess, to power brokers in D.C. This is influence peddling. The FBI veteran informant that FT 1023 document spelling out an alleged $10 million bribery scheme involving then Vice President Biden and Hunter Biden. And then you had bank officials in an email saying, wait a second, we don't see any activity. There's no services being rendered by Hunter Biden for why he's getting these millions of dollars in payments out of China. We don't know what his services are, what his business is. And we do know, they said in this email, that China and foreign adversaries purposely target the children of politicians for influence to get inside the U.S. government. So that when you see that kind of testimony coming forward, do you feel like that there could be more shoes to drop with what the impeachment managers may uncover and subpoenas. Are they going to subpoena the president? They've subpoenaed Hunter, they've subpoenaed James Biden, but are they going to subpoena bank officials? They're going to subpoena records for their shell companies.
They need to, and if they do, there will be more and more evidence coming out. We'll see more and more pieces of the puzzle. You know, one thing I would argue is a very narrow indictment of Hunter Biden avoiding $1.4 million in tax over 4 years. I thought one of the most interesting things about that indictment is he laid out $4.9 million worth of expenditures. $1.6 million of that was in cash. You know, that is $1,000 a day. By the way, is that maybe how the big guy got his 10%? Through untraceable cold hard cash? I mean, $1.6 million spent in cash over 4 years, plus, you know, over $600,000 on women. There was sex trafficked, generally through an international sex trafficking ring. Again, I don't have a great deal of sympathy when Hunter Biden talks about people targeting him. No, we're trying to uncover the truth. We're trying to make sure that the American public understands that a Biden presidency in the second term would even be more compromised than they have been in the first term.
Got it. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to see you.